It was through a really hard and painful season that the Holy Spirit taught me what true mercy is. You see, I thought I knew what mercy was. I went to ministry school, I read the scriptures, and I went to church multiple times a week, and yet it turned out I had no clue what mercy was, let alone how to apply it in my life. Hey, my name is Shane Gerhardt. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get right into it. So I'd like to give you a little bit of context of how the Holy Spirit revealed to me what true mercy is. It was about 1.5 to 2 years before I ever met my wife, and I was dating this other woman. We didn't really date for too long, but it was enough time for me to have feelings grow. And yet she wanted to stop the relationship, so we stopped dating. This hurt a lot. I ended up carrying a lot of pain going through this breakup, and I mourned, I cried, I tried to process out as much as I could with Holy Spirit. However, every time I saw her, because we were in the same community, we went to the same church together, I felt this pain in my chest, this pain and this heaviness in my heart every time that I saw her. And so I struggled with this for quite some time. In my mind, I didn't want this to affect my community and how I presented myself and how I hung out with the different people around there when she was around, but it was having an effect on me. I was changing. I was distancing myself. I was pushing people away. I was guarded and I was still hurt, but I couldn't figure out why, because every time that I saw her, I forgave her. I would go through this process and I would think of anything that she did that offended me or hurt me, and I would release it right there to the Lord. I would do everything I could to forgive her. And yet I still carried around this deep pain. That was until I was driving in my car, probably going to go get Chipotle. That's usually what I did most of the time. And on the way there, I'm talking to the Holy Spirit because I had just been part of the community. I saw her, I was hurt, I forgave, and yet I'm still carrying the pain. And so I'm asking Holy Spirit, why am I still hurting? I don't understand why this is still affecting me so much. And he responded with something so beautiful. He said, because you have not shown her mercy. I'm like, well, what do you mean shown her mercy? What do I do? How does that work? I don't really understand it. And so he started to explain to me that when you show mercy to someone, you restore a person to the place of honor that they once had before the offense took place. Meaning that I would now restore the image I have of her in my mind before I was hurt, before I was in pain. So I'm not holding any grudges against her, and I'm not viewing her in the depiction of my eyes of someone who has hurt me. Imagine it like this. You go into a bank and you take out a $100,000 loan. Some issues come up, you're late on your payments, you're not making them all, and so the bank calls you and you think they're gonna come and collect your debts. However, they say, I want to forgive you of all debts that you owe us, meaning that you no longer have to pay back a dime. That debt has been forgiven. But then you go back into the bank maybe a few months later and you ask for another loan and they say, no. What do you mean? Like, you didn't pay back your loan. You owed us $100,000. We forgave you, but you also didn't make your payments in time, and so we don't trust you. You see, that's usually what we do when we go into forgiveness. We make it so they don't owe us anything. You no longer owe me something, whether that's an apology, whether that's reconciliation, whether that's anything that you can think of that they now owe you. You say, you don't owe me anymore, I forgave you. However, you still don't trust that person. You still remember all the bad things that they did to you, all the times that you were hurt and in pain, whatever that may be. But mercy, what mercy does is it restores a person to the place of honor that they once had before the offense took place. So in this instance with the bank, if the bank said, hey, we forgive you of all your debt, you no longer owe us a dime, and we're going to show mercy to you. We are going to restore you to the place of honor you had before you missed those payments. So now if you were to go back and ask for another loan, they say, sure, we don't have any record of you doing something wrong at this bank. And so we will issue a loan. And so that's what mercy is. Mercy restores the person to the place of honor. And so it removes the fact that they owe you something, and it removes the pain and hurt that you feel like you need to hold on to because they did you wrong, and saying, I don't trust you any longer. We do this so much, especially in relationship. Like, I really have to be careful that I don't do this to my wife, that she does something that hurts me. I forgive her, but now I view her in the eyes of someone that hurt me, even though they no longer owe me anything. She doesn't owe me anything. However, I don't trust her because she failed me in that area. That's not right. I have been shown mercy by Jesus, so it's my job to show my wife mercy and say, I restore you to the place of honor you had before you hurt me. And so this is what the Holy Spirit was communicating to me when I was in the car driving. He says, you forgave her, but you've never shown mercy. You never showed her the respect and dignity that you showed her before she hurt you. And honestly, I was sitting there and I'm like, oh, do I even want to show mercy? Oh man, I could feel it in my heart and I was resistant to it. I was like, I don't know if this is something I even want to do. I didn't know I was holding on to it, but now that I knew I was holding on to it, I almost didn't want to let it go. I would say there was some form of maybe pride in me that was preventing me from releasing this. But I always tend to lean back on what Jesus has done for me when I'm struggling to do something for someone else. If I'm struggling to forgive someone, I remember I've been forgiven. If I'm struggling to show mercy to someone, I remembered that he first showed mercy to me. And so I'm in the car and I'm driving, and it took me a while. It wasn't like an immediate thing. It took me a bit just processing and meditating on this. And so I responded to the Holy Spirit. I said, yes, I want to show her mercy. I release mercy over her right now. And I can't express enough all the pain, all the hurt left me immediately. I no longer felt that heaviness. I no longer felt that tightness in my chest that was just banging on me and cutting me and hurting me on a consistent basis every time I saw her. It was gone. All of it in an immediate moment. So I want to ask you, do you need to show mercy to someone? Have you shown forgiveness to someone, and yet are you still needing to show them mercy in your eyes, in the way that you viewed them before they hurt you, before they offended you? Because this is what Jesus did for us. He forgave us. He showed us mercy. He restored us to the place of honor that we had before sin entered. He has made us righteous. He has restored our standing in relationship with him. Now it's your turn to do the same for someone else. Is there someone in your life right now that you need to show mercy? Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you are struggling at all with forgiveness or showing mercy to someone, leave a prayer request in the comment section below, and I would love to pray for you. Again, my name is Shane Gerhard, and hopefully I'll see you in another video.